The day before, even worse than we thought. Oh no, is it getting worse? We looked at that trailer they dropped, and that was pretty bad.
Previous installment of What on Earth is Going On with the Day Before, we discussed how the game's at the time newly released trailer revealed the developer's use of unaltered, straight from the store bought assets plopped into the world, showcased a real lack.
Which again, I thought was a really stupid reason to be upset about the game. Like, there's so many warning signs with the day before. You don't need to be stressed. What is this guy doing? You don't need to be too stressed about using store assets. Like, I think that's a really dumb thing to freak out about. It's really not that big of a deal. Every game does it. Usually, sure, they'll put some extra coats of paint and stuff on it, but I think there's plenty of other reasons to be upset with the game.
Lack of any notable mechanic, systems, features, or enemies in the game. There just wasn't much of anything going on, and that the intro to that trailer was clearly a shot-for-shot, one-for-one identical ripoff of a Call of Duty Black Ops.
Yeah, that one is like completely indefensible. If you guys are not aware, the day before launched a trailer, and it is a shot-for-shot ripoff. Like, it is a shot-for-shot, down to the frame ripoff of Call of Duty Black Ops. And a trailer they did for that. It was just hilariously horrible. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Ops trailer, continuing the developer's tradition of heavily inspired to the point of possible infringement, those just added to the top of the growing list of red flags surrounding.
What I don't understand, like, I think it would have been easier for them to just make their own trailer. Like, doing a shot-for-shot remake of something is actually pretty tricky. Like, getting the camera angles perfect, doing all of that. It's not easy to just do that, but they went in and like shot for shot copied it. I think it would have been easier to just do their own trailer. It was hilarious.
In the game, with things like the fact that the developer's history includes not one but two early access games that they abandoned shortly after release, them delaying the day before 1 month out from their launches, not once but 2 times. They did this twice. First, reportedly because they wanted to upgrade to Unreal Engine 5, despite the fact that the game's visuals have clearly degraded over time. And the second last-minute delay happened because of a trademark dispute. A dispute that they claimed not knowing about ahead of time, resulting in Valve removing the day before from Steam, after which the developer announced an 8-month delay. We later on discovered, since the trademark process is public record, that Fantastic absolutely knew that there was an issue, likely back in August of last year, if not at the latest in November, when they were sent a notice that the trademark was not approved. And then just a few days after all of that happened, Fantastic came out speaking to IGN and said that they were actually planning to delay the game prior to this trademark issue, which meant that their entire statement, being that the delay was happening because of this trademark thing that they just found out about and they were completely blindsided by, was just a lie. They had just lied about it. And then shortly after that, the 10-minute gameplay trailer, along with a few others, were subsequently removed from YouTube due to trademark issues. It is honestly exhausting trying to keep up with everything that surrounds the day before, but I do so, frankly, because, well, I mean, man, what a story, but also what a disappointment from what at one time was Steam's most wish-listed game to the mess of everything.
I don't know. I'm starting to really wonder if they paid like bots or something to wishlist the game, because everybody was like, "Oh no, it's gonna be great. It's the most wishlisted game of all time on Steam." It's like people are so excited for it. But I had never talked to anybody that was actually really excited for it. It was always people said, "I just found out about this game that's the most wishlisted game on Steam." So I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was actually like bots that were used for it. Like, I would not be shocked whatsoever. And after everything we've seen recently, it seems more and more likely that the hype was never actually that high for this thing, you know?
That's happened since then. So that was everything, basically, as of early February when we released our last day before video. And there have been a few updates since, which we'll get to right after this. Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community.
Oh yeah, unironically, Skillshare is actually really cool. I actually was sponsored by Skillshare myself. Back in the day, and I used them to learn how to use, like, how to go in and do a bunch of custom After Effects editing and all sorts of stuff. So I love me some Skillshare. Shout out. And Force Gaming, if you're interested in supporting him, go do that.
Fntastic released a statement on Twitter that was addressing the removal from Steam, as well as the fact that some of their videos were taken off of YouTube. The statement reads as follows. First, Steam and then YouTube removed some of the Day Before videos from our channel due to a trademark dispute. 3 facts. 1, the so-called owner of the rights of the title is the creator of the calendar app, which has nothing to do with the game's category. They are correct in that the trademark for the Day Before is related to a calendar app and not a video game. I don't understand the point of calling them a so-called owner, because they are not the so-called owner of the Day Before trademark. They are the owner of the Day Before trademark, all of which is publicly available information, which we'll recap here in a second. Fact number 2. After we announced the game in 2021, he also wanted to take over the title and file the trademark ahead of us. This fact is also accurate, although it conveniently leaves out the fact that they waited a year after revealing the game to even send in the application for trademark for the name The Day Before. So it's not like it took much to beat them to the punch. And fact number 3, he ambiguously offers to contact him to discuss something, but what? Wait, what? And they wrap it up by saying, "We'll fight. Power is in the truth." Beyond the last part of that statement, they do obviously are focused on this whole trademark issue, the trademark debate, because this is what are causing the biggest issue for the Day Before at the moment. It's the reason a lot of their videos have been pulled from YouTube. It's also the reason the game no longer has a Steam page, and apparently won't anytime in the near future, because this is still an ongoing issue. So this is the trademark history. And again, keep in mind, all of this information publicly available. I can give you guys links in the description below if you want to check it out for yourself. But this is the timeline of the trademark filing for the Day Before. So we know that Fntastic, they revealed that game with that first initial trailer. This was back in January 2021. At that time, the name was free and available for trademark, but they didn't apply for it for whatever reason. Then in June 2021, 6 months after the game gets revealed, Soonjae Lee files a trademark application for the Day Before, and this was to be used for a calendar app that they had made, just basically like keeping track of things, birthdays, appointments, stuff like that. It's just a calendar app, right? But it's called the Day Before. They file trademark for this. Then in January 2022, Fntastic finally submits.
Dude, this whole thing, everything about the Day Before is just a mess. Like, everything about it. There isn't a single redeeming factor. And I've tried to come up with it. I've tried to find it. Like, okay, there's actually, this could be really good because I saw that they hired this person that really knows what they're doing. Nope. There's not a single thing like that. Every little piece of information about this game that you find out about just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
Their application for trademark for the Day Before. This was 7 months after Soonjae Lee did the trademark for their calendar app, and again, a full year after they revealed their game. So in August 2022, Soonjae Lee trademark was then at that point published for opposition, which from what I understand, this basically means this was the time where Fntastic were notified, could and should have stepped in to say, hey, no, we want that trademark. We've got this game. It's got a ton of views on, it's got a page on Steam. It's got a ton of views on YouTube. Apparently, and as they said, they didn't know anything and they didn't do anything because come November 2022, the opposition window closes. Time had passed and Soonjae Lee's trademark for the Day Before at that point gets approved. It is official. It is on the books. The Day Before belongs to Soonjae Lee. In that same month, in November, according to the official U.S. Patent and Trademark Office records, which again, it's all publicly available. You can look this stuff up yourself. Fntastic at that point received an action notice that their trademark would not be going through. Basically, that their application for that name was being denied. They say that they didn't find out about the trademark issue until January 2023, but according to the official public trademark records, they should have known that there was a problem as of August 2022 when that notice of opposition for trademark got published. But even if they didn't know then, they absolutely found out and should have known in November that their trademark wasn't being processed because the Day Before was already owned by someone else.
What's the button to change view again?
Publicly available info, them coming out and like doubling down with this Twitter statement, as well
So
as
F4,
with discussions
F4,
in
that's
various
it.
interviews, like that interview with IGN, saying, oh no,
N.
we didn't know about the trademark issue
go.
until right before we were supposed to launch, and then Steam took our game off of their store, and then YouTube took our videos down, and we get this, oh god, this is terrible. We had no, they knew. They absolutely knew. They're either lying about knowing and are just using this as a convenient excuse to delay a game that most likely isn't ready from all accounts, from everything we've seen. It doesn't look like a finished product yet. They probably need more time, which doesn't surprise me. Or if they're not lying about all of this, then that means they filed for trademark for the day before and then just didn't follow up on anything and somehow missed all of the official warnings and documentation that they got sent, that we know they got sent through the trademark application process. Either one of these, whether it is that they are lying and using this as a convenient excuse to delay the game because they need more time, seems highly likely, or that they filed for trademark and just like said, well, that's it, right? We filed and it must be ours, and just didn't pay attention to any of the other documentation, notices, whatever. Either one of those things, not a particularly great look for the developer or a good outlook for the game. As of today, this issue...
For real. Omar, as an IP attorney, I file a lot of trademarks, and I did the same USPTO search when they first said they didn't know. He is absolutely correct. Either they don't, or their attorney somehow dropped the ball altogether. Yeah, well, to me, like, we know for a fact most of the game is being built by volunteers. We know that because they've sent out hiring calls and stuff, asking people to apply to voluntarily build this game for them. Do all of the work and share none of the profits, basically. And it's just outrageous. It's like ridiculous. But we know that that's the case. And so then it's like, okay, so what's most likely? That they like chose not to renew this, or that it was a built-in excuse, or their attorney screwed up, or they don't have an attorney. They only recently got one when they realized, hey, we probably need a trademark for our game's title. We probably need to do that because we launch in a month. And it's just like 3 or 4 guys that are trying to do this, throw this game together, sell it for a quick buck, and then they realize that they couldn't. I don't know. I've never tried to list something on Steam, but maybe it's the case that you can't like list a game on Steam until you have a trademark that you can demonstrate is yours. And so then they were like, oh, well, crap, we can't really scam people and quickly get our paycheck until we have this running. Okay, well, we got to figure that out. We got to do something. Let's try to get a friggin' trademark registered. Let's do it, you know? So to me, it seems much more likely that they just are totally incompetent and have no idea what they're doing. That to me seems much more reasonable.
Still hasn't been resolved, or it has, I guess. The Day Before trademark is currently still belonging to Soonjae Lee for the calendar app that they are making. The Day Before game has still not returned to Steam, and those YouTube videos that got pulled for trademark disputes have still not been reinstated. Ffantastic has came out and stated that, yeah, we're working on this. We got like top 8 #1 lawyers that are going to fix this problem. The truth will prevail, or as they said in their Twitter statement, we'll fight. Power is in the truth. The truth is, you revealed your game, you waited a full year to trademark, someone else trademarked for another thing, and so having all this freely available and them having, again, doubling down, like, no, we had no clue. What? How, that trademark? What is that? We filed for it, but we don't understand. Hire someone who does, I guess, and I hope that they resolve this. Or the other thing is change the name of the game. The Day Before isn't even a particularly great name. Just change the name of the game if this isn't going to work. Or maybe they don't want to because, again, they could just be using this as a convenient...
Yeah, I don't think this game is real. Like, I don't think it's real. Huge companies get hundreds of millions of dollars with tens of hundreds of developers and they can't deliver on a project. Yeah, no, I mean, it happens. Like, it's tough to deliver a game. But I cannot think of another example of a game where there is like no doubt they are working through volunteers. Nobody here has shipped a game before. The company is totally new. Like I don't think there is another example of that. This is totally new. This is a bizarre situation. He took my thing.